All right, so the common question asked is, what do you trade, right? Stocks, futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies, options market, which is kind of blanket. You can get options on just about anything. So what are you going to trade, right? Like that's what it comes down to. Now, that's a little different for everybody. What do I trade? I trade futures, and I'll give you all the reasons why. For one, highly regulated. Highly leveraged, highly accessible, right? Like the futures market opens at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time on Sunday night, and it runs basically uninterrupted until Friday evening at 5 p.m. Now there's a settling period at the end of each day, but outside of that settling period, my targets and stops are effective during the overnight, with the exception of that settling period and the exception of the weekend. So if I am in a great position and I have some of my trade positions still remaining and I think the market's still going to go in my favor, I got my stop at break even or in the profit or whatever, and I got a handful of contracts still running, I feel pretty comfortable letting it run during the overnight, right? You know, unless there's some major event that transpires that the market jumps my stop, which could basically happen at any point in time. That's just the risk you take. Yeah, I can still be, I can go to sleep and wake up with more money in my account. So I'm open to that, right? Like I don't have to wait for the 9:30 open or get out before the 4 p.m. bell. Like I can let it run. As I mentioned, highly regulated, right? A lot of Forex exchanges are not. You don't know if your money's going to disappear. Crypto, the same thing. Listen, you can trade stocks long and short, but when it comes to the futures market, trading them long and short is just as easy in both directions. My trades, like I mentioned earlier, settle immediately. So if I take a trade, I enter the trade, and I take profit, that profit is available for me to use in the next trade that very second. Whereas if I'm trading stocks, like there's a settling period, right? So to me, futures is where the big boys come to play, right? Like that's where the real money is transpired in the futures market. So that's what I trade. But listen, I know many successful traders that trade stocks, that trade the Forex market, that trade cryptocurrencies, that trade options and whatever. Listen, to each their own. Just because I trade futures doesn't mean that it's right for everybody. That's what I trade. So, when you get into the market, when you start trading as a new trader, my suggestion to you would be to pick one market, pick one asset, genuinely focus on understanding that market, that asset, and then get very comfortable, get your feel in, get your trade plan together, get your checklist done, get your strategies, to multiple ways that the market, could offer opportunities. Once you've built that foundation in one area of the market, and then you want to start spreading out, not a terrible idea. Like you can certainly do that, right? Like that's totally fine. The worst thing you could do is try to scatter among, stocks, futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies, the whole gamut, with zero consistency, with zero trade plan established, with zero checklists, with, you're literally rolling the dice, you're throwing shit at the wall to just see what sticks. And guys, that is absolutely, positively reckless. So don't do that, okay? Start small, find one market that you like, find one asset that you like, one stock perhaps that you like, and just go nice and easy. The worst thing you could do is start spreading yourself too thin and, stressing yourself to the point that you end up walking away altogether because you just overwhelmed yourself. That's avoidable by just going slow and easy. What wasn't available to me when I started trading futures was micros, right? Like micros are 1/10 of an E-mini contract. So when I started trading, micros didn't exist. It was, you were jumping in with E-minis or you weren't trading them at all. So for new traders coming into the futures market, that is a great benefit to them. They can start with a much smaller account and risk much less money in the learning process. I recently shot a video about paper trading. Still a big advocate of proving yourself profitable, working your way through the phases of the market, working your way through establishing the trade plan and the checklists and your different approaches to the market, you know, on paper first. Really get that down pat, set a goal, crush the goal, and you could do that. You could paper trade in, you know, any asset, stocks, futures, forex, cryptocurrencies, options, you name it. So, you know, really do your homework, right? I watch so many traders that trade for a long time and they're wishy-washy and they never stay above the black line, right? They go into the profit and then they go in the loss. They go green, they go red. They go green, they go red. They go green, they go red. It's just not. It's very volatile. It's not a great way to try to get to the goal, right? So the better bet is to go slow and easy, right? When I trade with my traders, I really try to look for the lowest risk, highest probability. We look for momentum, find a trade, a market that's trending, and then look at that approach. We do talk about reversals and corrections and things of that nature. But you don't want to start off overwhelmed. You ultimately want to start off slow in whichever asset class you choose. Take it nice and easy. And understand that the market operates in phases, right? Like it does certain things at certain periods of time. And I tell my traders, listen, you're looking at 2 to 3 years of, substantial screen time. And I'm talking about, 3 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 2 to 3 years to really hone in on a full and complete understanding of the phases of the market, how the market works, different scenarios that you're going to be put into that you don't quite understand, that are a little harder to necessarily predict until you've actually lived through them in order to really generate some consistency. So you have to be patient with the process. But just because you're having, you're experiencing not exactly what you're looking for, and you started trading, options, don't just abandon that and jump shipping and jump to another asset. Take your time. It takes time, right? There's not always going to be a trade every day. Be selective. Be patient. I say this often, and some people get offended, but my best traders are middle-aged women. They are. They're the ones that do the best. They're calm, cool, collected. They don't have an ego. They're very patient. They're ready and willing to do what it takes to be successful. And more often than not, that success simply comes from being patient and consistent and disciplined. So until you master those things, and a lot of those things are personal characteristic traits. And listen, some of them were things I had to change about myself. Like I evolved as a human through this process of becoming a trader, because I had to learn to get rid of my ego. I had to learn to park my pride. I had to learn to be patient and not seek this instant gratification. So just food for thought. Again, it doesn't matter what you're trading. My preference doesn't mean that futures is right for you, right? And your preference may be stocks, and that doesn't mean that's right for somebody else. So I encourage you, spend the time, invest the time, learn the market or the asset you're trading, and genuinely put your very best effort in, and don't rush the process. So all I can ask of you guys, if this video was helpful to you, if any of my content is helpful to you, if you feel like it could help another struggling trader, new trader, even a trader that's along their journey, if you could give it a like, subscribe to the channel, it helps me spread the word of sharing the failures that I've faced, continue to face, and overcome. God bless.